EMMA stands for Enhanced Media Metrics Australia. EMMA was commissioned by the Newspaper Publishers of Australia, and Ipsos was asked to develop an audience measurement system for them to be used principally by media agencies and advertisers. While EMMA is principally a readership survey, it's much broader than that as well. So we cover off usage of and consumers' behaviours around TV, radio, digital media, or media, for example. But increasingly we're referring to EMMA as a large consumer database, because data is becoming increasingly important in the market now, and we offer a very, I guess, a longitudinal study covering media consumption, consumer attitudes to about 16 major product categories, but also a stack of kind of attitudinal statements and lifestyle questions, so we can really understand how consumers are behaving and how that behaviour relates to their media consumption and consumption of different products and services. Everyone's a star in the EMMA team. We've got a really great bunch of people working on the product and the service. And what I thought I'd do is just illustrate the diversity of those skills by allowing you to meet three of our team members. Let's start with Monica. Monica, I guess, is more of a traditional market research skill set. Her skills are around the data analytics, so getting the database out to our clients every single month. And then we've got Jane. Jane Nichols, who was previously in a role heading up the commercial side of the business, but has since taken over, I guess, leadership of EMMA here in Australia. But Jane's background isn't related to research directly. She's worked in the publishing industry for many years and has led really big advertising sales teams, both at Fairfax and at News Corp. And then Oj. Look, Oj is a fantastic member of our team, and Oj again has very diverse skills that aren't generally seen in the market research field. So Oj is a professional learning and development manager, and she's had a background in various corporate organisations here in Australia in terms of just delivering training, whether that be Microsoft training or bespoke training in-house. And within the EMMA team, she specifically delivers the training around the software that we offer to the market.
Do you mind if I ask them a couple of questions?
Sure, go ahead and meet the team.
Yeah, I'm originally from Split, Croatia. I immigrated here at a very young age. As you can tell, there's no accent. I play soccer in summertime, some are small-sided, five-a-side and seven-a-side in women's comp, and wintertime I play full-sided football. Grand finalist last season, going for a third year, hopefully this year. And I do support the Mariners, are very dear to my heart. I'm a season pass holder for the last 7 years, and I'm still standing by them, even though they're not travelling too well at the moment.
I'm originally from Poland. I moved to Australia about 3 years ago, and I fell in love with this country, especially with its wildlife. I'm a big fan of wombats. I love scratching them and playing with them. Whenever I get a chance, I go to different wildlife parks, and I like to observe them in nature.
So I'm originally from Adelaide, but I moved to Sydney probably about 20 years ago, I guess. But a really exciting time was to move across to Europe, where I worked in magazines and travelled across 18 countries as part of a way of life. So it really built my passions.
I studied a Bachelor of Arts in double major of Psych and Sociology, which gave me an appreciation of stats. Gee, that's helped me now. And in terms of industry experience, I've been IT training, consulting, supporting, managing in a variety of industries. Kicked off in the electricity industry, both supply and generation. Then tackled telecommunications. I've worked in retail and public service, and now market and media.
I have Bachelor of Business Administration from Lancaster University in the UK. While studying there, I had a chance to go to Hong Kong for an exchange, which was a really cool experience because I had a chance to travel around Asia, and I love traveling. After that, I came back to my home city, Wrocław in Poland, and I did my master's in business information systems. I worked in DDP, it's an advertising agency, and I was an econometrician analyzing effects of advertising on sales. When I moved to Australia, I started working in market research. First in a boutique agency called Arnold and Bolingbroke, and then in Ipsos.
So when I left school, I did a Bachelor of Arts degree. I double majored in geography of all things, had a great time, went on to join News Corporation in South Australia. That led me to Sydney, where I was sales director for the Australian group of titles. I headed off to Europe and worked for a magazine company, and then came back into Australia as sales director for Fairfax. 3 years later, back to News Corporation, where I was the sales director for News Life Media. And finally that led the way to Ipsos, where I joined as commercial director but recently promoted to executive director for Emma.
So I've been, like, as part of my role in previous projects and experience, it's involved task analysis within different business sectors, looking at designing training, delivering the training, but also after implementation support. So all of that work that I've done previously within my previous roles has helped me pretty much set up the training and support framework within Emma, but develop the training courses for our different segments, our different end users, and also the ongoing operations and looking at improvements and enhancements.
I always like learning scientific and exploratory subjects. Therefore, I like numbers because there is a story behind every number. And Emma is a perfect proof for that. The interesting part in working on Emma project is actually looking for the stories behind the numbers and exploring them.
My experience to date has really revolved around leadership of large sales teams, developing strategies, particularly in change environments, launching new brands, and dealing, I guess, with market fragmentation at quite a significant level. The other thing that historically I've done a lot of is working with the Publishers of Australia. And in terms of Emma, all of those things, I think of it almost as a coming together of my career, literally, because much as I'm not a researcher as such, all of the things that I've done have actually made the transition really, really ideal.
Can you summarise what Emma means to you in 3 words?
Innovative.
Enlightening.
Factual.
Great.